Good day and welcome back to Coach Quick. Today we are going to be looking at doing the pull shot. The pull shot is a good option for any ball that is rising above the hip height. It is a good shot when we can hit it from slightly outside our body line or from on our body line. It is a very good boundary option and it opens up big areas on the leg side, from a straightish mid wicket all the way to a deep backward square. It is a good shot to put pressure back on the bowler if he does happen to miss his length on the shorter side, to make sure that when he bowls again, it can come fuller and he can get back onto the front foot. To master the pull shot, we are going to split it into 3 different areas which we're going to focus on. Going forward in the video, we are going to go through each area, focusing on a specific draw and what that draw is meant to accomplish. And then at the end, we are going to put all of those draws and techniques together to fully complete and dominate the pull shot. The first section we'll be looking at is making sure that we get our head into line and our body position is good for the pull shot. The coach will be throwing underarms to the batters between the chest and shoulder height, making sure that the batter catches his fingers up, getting his head in line. Sometimes you'll see that the batter's foot will rotate slightly, which is fine in the pull shot because if your foot lands parallel to the crease, it can put a lot of strain on the knee when trying to complete the shot with a full rotation. So focus on the head position and how the foot might turn slightly when moving across. As you can see, it's a very positive head movement. I wanted to test you a bit there. We are now going to progress to doing this with the bat. We're going to do the same thing with the underarms. The batter's just going to make sure that he gets his head into line, and then he's going to have a slow tap onto the ball just to make sure that his positions are good. You can tap the base hard. As you can see, there's no follow through on the swing. The second section, what we'll be looking at is hand position, making sure that we get our hands nice and high to give us control and power, and contact point, where we have to make contact with the ball to give us the best chance of hitting it hard and having that control as well. For the first part of it, the batter will be standing there. You put a cone into the net at about eye height. From there, what the player's going to do, standing near the net, he's going to step across as though he's playing a pull shot, get his hands nice and high with the ball in his hand, and from there he's going to throw the ball towards mid-wicket, where the 2 cones on the ground reflect the area. Very nice. It's not just how hard as you can. Good. As you can see, the hands extend nice and up, and as the arms are coming forward, they extend nicely through the ball. What you're going to do now is the batter's going to take his bat. He's going to stand a bit further away from the net, still having the visual aid of the cone on top of the net, but the coach is going to tell him when his hands get high enough in the shot. So as his hands rise up to the area, I will now say now, and he's going to play a shot and stop at where he expects the contact point to be, which will be when the bottom hand is fully extended in front of him. Yeah, you ready? Go. Now. Good. Okay. Now. Good. Nice and controlled. Try not to rush yourself through this. It's about trying to teach your body to get used to the position. Last one. Now. In section 3, we'll be focusing on making sure that our swing is good. For the first part of this, the batter will be starting in the back foot position with his hands nice and up. The coach is going to throw underarms between hip and shoulder height, and the batter is just going to swing through the ball, trying to hit it towards mid-wicket. For the swing, we want to try and focus on making sure that we do not rotate our wrists too much over it, because that can cost us power. For the next part on focusing on the swing, we're going to be using 5 balls. It is called a rapid fire draw. The batter is going to start back and across again with his hands nice and high, as we did in the previous part of this. Coach is still going to throw the same areas, but as soon as he's released the first ball, he's going to start throwing the next ball. The batter is going to have a check swing through the first 4, and then the last one he's going to hit through and allow his body to drive all the way around, potentially having a pivot at the same time. We are now going to be linking all of those sections together in a full speed pull shot. A couple of things to look out for is trying to make sure that the head does force into line. At the same time, we do want to make sure that our hands are high enough to begin a nice full swing through the ball, because that's going to give us the power and the control. We don't want to have a stuttered swing, as if the ball does bounce a bit more or change its line, that could cause us to get a top edge or lose out on the control. Also, you don't want to roll your wrist too much, because if you roll your wrist too early, you can get a top edge, which could get you out caught. On top of that, sometimes you roll too much over the ball and you hit the ball down and it stuns too much into the turf, and then you lose the power, so what might be a boundary turns out to only be a 1 or a 2. Please make sure that when you're playing the shot, you don't always have to have a step across. It's the head that's important to get into the line, because as you move up and the quicker the bowlers are, the harder it is going to be to move everything to get into line. So make sure the head moves into line and the hands get nice and high.
Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you did find today's video enjoyable or helpful, remember to leave us a like. Also, let us know what your thoughts are on today's video in the comment section below, and let's get some discussions going down there as well. If you have any questions related to the pull shot, feel free to ask them. Also, finally, remember to subscribe. We checked and about 60% of you watching our videos aren't subscribed yet, so do it, it's free.